Hi guys, my name's Allie Frazier. I'm a double diamond leader here with It Works Global, and I decided that since my 2-year anniversary with this amazing company is coming up in September, it's about time that I get my story on YouTube. I have some trainings that you may have seen, but I think that I just want to take a minute and just really tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about what prompted me to join a business like this, and also what I've been able to do with this business in the past 2 years. So, I was born and raised in a small town north of Boston, Massachusetts, and I was there for 18 years. My parents got divorced when I was younger. My mom was a single mom. I saw her go through some things that she always gave us everything that she could. We never necessarily went without, but growing up in a very suburban, wealthy town, I was surrounded by people in everyday life that always had more than what we had. And it didn't affect me when it was happening, but looking back now, I think that it really had a big part in me growing up and wanting more out of life than just paycheck to paycheck. And so I ended up at 18, I got into the college of my dreams, Texas A&M, and got in just on my SAT score because my grades were horrible. I was not good at school. And so I went to Texas A&M. And I moved 2,000 miles away from any family. I had no family down there. I didn't know a single soul. And that's me. I am someone, I will make friends with anyone. And I knew that I needed something bigger. I needed something better than what I had settled with for 18 years, this town. And I felt like if I had stayed in my hometown, I wouldn't be able to really fulfill my purpose or really even fulfill things that were part of my dreams, like traveling and being able to see different states and different communities and different type of cultures. And so I went to Texas A&M, and I was down in Texas for 2 years, and lo and behold, I partied way too hard. It was bad. I really stopped going to classes. I failed college algebra twice. And basically, essentially, I was working part-time on top of going to school full-time, full hours. And my mom was paying for my dorm, and we did have FAFSA, which was like government help for students, but she still had to pay for my dorm. And then I ended up moving out and getting my own apartment in Texas, and she paid for that too. She was paying all of my bills, and I didn't appreciate it like I should have. And I spent essentially a lot of my parents' money doing nothing but getting drunk on a beach. You want the truth of my story, that is it. And so my mom was like, "Oh, Allie, it's time for you to come home. You're not going to class. You're not doing well in school. We're spending a ton of money. And you have an option where you can come home and we'll get you into a community college and you can come live with us, or you can stay in Texas, but you're going to have to pick up full-time hours, and you're going to have to, there's going to have to be something that really changes." And I didn't know about It Works or an opportunity like this back then, but I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and God needed me to go back and move back in with my parents. And in this process, my parents had since then moved from Massachusetts down to South Carolina, where they had bought land and a house so they could build a barn, my mom's dream. And so there I went, this super independent person that I was, ended up having to tail tucked between my legs, go back to mom and dad, my mom and my stepdad. Tail tucked. I felt like a failure. I felt like I wasn't worth anything. I felt like that was what was going to happen. I was going to move back with my parents. I was going to get a full-time job. I was going to go to community college, and it was bad, you guys. And it really inspired something in me that I didn't really know what it was until this business came about. But I moved back to South Carolina. I had no friends. I didn't know a single person here. I was going to class, but when you're an adult, sometimes like hard to make friends. And for someone that's always been a social butterfly, for someone that's always loved being surrounded by people and having conversations, that's what stimulates me. I am very outgoing. That's just who I am. It was really hard for me to sit at home every night with my parents. It was just kind of like, all right, you guys know. So I made a dating profile. And in making a dating profile, I went on several really terrible dates. And I was like, okay, this is not going to work. And then randomly, one day, about 2 weeks after I just like sworn it off, I just opened it and I checked the messages and I was just like scrolling through it. And Matt says that I messaged him first. I don't know. I think he messaged me first, but whatever. And so me and Matt started talking. We went on our first date, and here we are 3.5 years later. After 6 months of dating Matt, we decided to buy a house. Yeah, not probably our brightest idea, but we decided to buy a house. So we bought a house, and on paper, when you wrote down everything, all of our expenses, I was working full-time at Subway, and Matt was working full-time at a wire plant. We could afford it if you wrote it down on paper. I guess we just didn't add in that, like, groceries cost money. Like, if you want to eat, you should probably add that in. Things like laundry detergent, that's really expensive. Toilet paper, like, okay, we just didn't add that in. Then we ended up rescuing and saving 3 dogs, so add in dog food, gas to get to and from work, even the bare minimum, you guys, like, we quickly found out that we could not afford the house that we had gotten ourselves into, and so we were both working 50, 60 plus hours a week. Our dogs were in crates 6 to 8 hours a day. I mean, we were doing everything that we possibly could. There wasn't enough time in the day to get another job, even though both me and Matt looked at getting a second job. And so a girl with the rescue that I worked with, I started seeing her post on Facebook about making money while she was in the backyard with her dogs. And I was like, what? What? She's making money in the backyard with her, what? And then she started posting about these skinny wraps, and I was like, what? For someone who struggled with her weight for her whole entire life, I truly thought that if such thing as a skinny wrap was real and it worked, then, like, who wouldn't want something like that? And I was like, there's no, that would have been so helpful. Like, oh, I wore, a bathing suit all through college because I lived on an island, and if I had known about these wraps, and so they just sparked my interest. And so I ended up talking to her and asking her how much the wraps were. And she was like, oh, this is how much they are. And I was like, oh, yeah, definitely cannot afford that because we're broke as a joke. And she was like, well, if you only pay $40 more, you can join. And, like, I can teach you how to make money from your phone. Are you on your phone? And I'm like, well, I'm talking to you right now, aren't I? Like, yeah, I'm on my phone all the time. I'm a girl in my 20s. Like, Instagram's my jam. Like, okay. So I ended up signing up with her 2 weeks after I was let go from my job. My horse that I'd had since I was a little girl, he was up in Massachusetts, and he randomly ended up getting really sick and passing away. And so I needed time to mourn. He was my best friend. He got me through my parents' divorce. He had been there for me. I'd accomplished some of my biggest goals and greatest dreams with him by my side. And I know that might be hard for you to comprehend if you don't have horses, but let me tell you, him leaving this earth took a very serious toll on me. And so I asked my work if I could take off 2 days. And they said no. And I said, listen, I just need 2 days to mourn, I can't even put on pants. I can't eat. Like, I'm not sleeping. Like, I just need 2 days. And they said, if you can have 1 day, but if you take 2, we're going to fire you. Well, this girl took 2 days to mourn, which I retrospectively should have taken about 6 weeks to mourn, but took 2 days and they fired me. And so I took my last check, that was $130. I took my last check and I spent $100 of that on signing up for this company. I had $30 to my name after I signed up. This had to work. Like, this wasn't something that I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll just, no, this had to work. Like, I was determined, even if I hated it, because guess what, you guys, I've worked jobs before where I hated my job, but I still continue to do it because it paid the bills, right? And so I was seeing people, I started being like nosy and started looking at the top income earners in this company. And I started looking at, all of these people that had done something with this business, and they were building dream houses and buying cars in cash and paying their parents' mortgage and retiring their husbands. And I'm like, if this business has the potential to do that, even if I hate it, like, I'm going to do it. And so my biggest tip, what I tell everybody when they join this business, is you have to give it a year. When you're an entrepreneur, your success is not going to be determined by your first 3 days or your first 3 months or your first even 9 months. I told myself I will give this business 1 year. And if I'm not where I want to be, or if I don't enjoy it, or if in 1 year I absolutely hate it, then I will quit. Like, I'll just quit. But I need to give it a year. And I'm on my phone anyway. And if she's telling me that I can make a full-time income on 2 hours a day on my phone, like I can do that. I'm a hard worker. If there's one thing about me is that I will work my butt off if it's something that I want. And so I signed up, and for the first 6 months, I enrolled customers. I enrolled a couple distributors. I earned a $120 shopping spree, but I just didn't get it. I didn't see the big vision. Even though I had seen people like retiring their husbands and building their dream houses, I didn't think that little old Allie from Danvers, Massachusetts would ever amount to being a millionaire. Like, that's just not even realistic. Like, life doesn't happen like that for Allie. I had to learn that life happens how you let it happen. Life happens how you decide to make it happen. And so my first 6 months, I made $100, $200, $300 paychecks. I was able to, in the second full month of this business, go out to a dealership, buy a brand new car, a 2015 Nissan Sentra off the lot with 7 miles on just me and Matt's. Our credit was shot, but they saw that the fact that I had an income, I had picked up a nannying job in between. After I gotten fired from the other job, I picked up a nannying job. So with my nannying income and with my It Works income, they let us have a brand new car. And so that was like really the first time with this business that I was like, oh my gosh. Like 2 months ago, I was saying like, I don't think I'll ever be able to really make anything, but I'll try. And then 2 months later, I have a brand new car in my driveway. Like, God, is that you? Like, are you trying to? So I went 6 months without promoting. On the 6th month, I promoted to the first rank of executive. That's an extra $300 a month. I was stoked. The next month, the 7th month in the business, I promoted twice from Ruby and then to Emerald. Emerald is an average income of $1,200 a month. So within 2 months, I went from making an average of $300 a month to an average of $1,200 a month. And I was just... It was in that 2-month period where I knew that I was home. I knew that this was the company. This was the vehicle that would allow me to do things and pay myself for how hard I work. You know, I'd been at jobs where they give you a list of things to do, and no matter how good you do them, as long as they're done, you're going to get paid. I've been to jobs where I stood at a register for 6 hours and scanned things like over and over and over and got paid for it. If I can post and message to people that are interested on social media and make 4 figures a month, like what? It just blew my mind. And I saw the power of social media. I saw the power of being able to connect with people on Instagram that live in Australia or that live in the United Kingdom or that live in California. I started making friends that truly cared about me and my health and getting healthier, and cared about me and being able to come up with these crazy dreams, like to bring home your boyfriend from his job. Like, I started dreaming and seeing so much bigger. And so last summer, our company came out with a cruise. You could earn a free cruise to the Bahamas. And I was determined. I remember hearing it being announced, and I turned and I looked at Matt and I said, I'm doing it. And Matt's like, you're doing it. And I said, no, I'm getting on that cruise. I'm getting on that cruise. And so I got on the cruise. I was able to earn a spot, and for the first time in my life, get a passport. Like when we were little kids, we never really did vacations. Like I said, my mom was a single mom. And so to be able to earn a cruise to the Bahamas and get my passport and be surrounded by so many inspiring men and women, like it was the most magical, powerful, crazy thing that I think that I had really done for myself. And I went on the cruise. And then after I got off the cruise in November, it was the 1st of November. So I got off and I had 20 days to promote to the rank of diamond, which is an extra $2,000 a month on top of a $10,000 bonus was being offered. And I had been trying to get this $10,000 bonus, and like I'd get there and then it kind of like something would happen, and I'd get there like right there and then it would slip away, and then I'd get there. And so I went all in. I went all in, and in 20 days, I ended up enrolling over $3,000 worth of customers. I helped over 10 people start their own businesses in 20 days, and was able to promote to the rank of diamond, was making a full-time income, 4 figures, $2,000 a month average, and earned a $10,000 bonus. So between the $10,000 bonus and the $3,000 in bonuses I had earned in March when I double promoted, I had made $13,000 in bonuses in 14 months with the company. $13,000 like of bonuses. The other thing we were able to do before I went diamond, which I forgot to tell you guys about, this lot of land came available next to my parents' house, their barn, and their land, 20 acres. And we were able to buy that 20 acres in cash. 21 and 22 years old, we were able to buy 20 acres in cash. And so it was truly just so eye-opening that in such a short amount of time, I was able to do these things that I never thought I'd be able to do for myself. And that is what made me decide that this is it. Like, this is it. Like, I have found my home. Nobody can try and get me to leave. It works for a different company. Nobody can tell me that this business doesn't work, because I've been able to do things like send my grandmother $300 randomly, and to be able to bring her house out of foreclosure, and to be able to pay for groceries and, $100 bonuses. Like, I knew in my heart that this was how I was going to become a millionaire. And that's something that I could never have dreamed of before. How do you dream of being a millionaire if you can't even afford tampons? I mean, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Allie, and I'm blunt. Like, that's the truth of the matter. How do you dream about donating $1,000 a month to a rescue when you can't even pay your mortgage? How do you dream of being able to donate $100 in groceries to your church when you can't even afford groceries yourself? And so this company has just truly inspired something in me and really woke me up to the fact that this world and this life is so much bigger than just me. And I truly believe that God didn't put me here just to be selfish, just to provide for myself, just to barely make it, just to be able to pay groceries and pay bills. Like, I'm bigger than that. Like, this world, this life that I have for myself is bigger than that. And so, 4 months after I went diamond, I promoted again to the rank of double diamond and earned a $30,000 bonus. So in all, you guys, I make an average right now of about $6,000 a month on top of I've earned $43,000 in bonuses. And in the next year, I'm going to be able to retire my mom from her job. I'm going to be able to bring my boyfriend home. We're going to be able to travel more. We're going to be able to do more with rescue and fostering more animals. And my business, my team, so many life-changing things are happening and have happened in the past year that it fires me up. It gets me out of bed every single morning. And there are days, I'm sure if you're watching this and you're a distributor, there are days where you're like, I don't even want to pick up my phone. But all I have to do is look at my boyfriend and look at my dogs and look at my mom and know that they're worth not having to work a 9-to-5. They are worth being able to go buy a brand new truck for Matt, a brand new truck for my stepdad, being able to send money to my grandmother just because, being able to, afford Christmas for the first time in my whole life, being able to do these things, you guys. It's just so eye-opening. And if anybody on my team knows, I love social media. I have built my whole entire business making a $6,000 a month paycheck without ever selling a product face to face. I don't have to have products. The only products I have are the products that I use. I don't have to go knocking on people's doors. This business, I've done hard things, you guys. I've made hard decisions. One time we had to sell Matt's 1996 Nova, which he built from the ground up as a senior in high school so that we could pay our mortgage. That was hard. Posting about products that I love on social media and getting paid for it, not hard. Being able to pour into my teammates and have conversations with people that truly have big dreams and goals for themselves, that's not hard. This business is not hard. And if you truly commit to making this work, it will work. Like, that's the only advice that I have for people. This business works, but you have to be willing to put the time and energy in. The same way anyone, you guys, a 9-to-5 paycheck is nothing compared to the residual income, compared to the fact that the work I put in this morning is going to pay me for the next 10 years. Considering the fact that I'm going to be able to be paid over and over and over and over and over for 2 hours of work. So I'm not asking you to quit your job. If you love your job, then that's fine. There are people that make really good money with this business and just use it for vacations or for traveling. Maybe you're not struggling financially, but I can promise you that if I handed you $500, you'd find something to do with it. So if you can make $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month extra by putting in some time on your phone at night before you go to bed, this business is a no-brainer. And I was reading an article that said, if you look at the change in technology in the last 50 years, so think about the phones and the cars that were like the size of your head. Like think about, I have the stapler. You know what I mean? Think about how much technology has changed in the last 50 years. Triple that much change, and that's how much change we're going to see in the next 5 years. I wanted to be a part of this business, and I wanted to be in it when everything else started moving to social media. You guys, look at Amazon, look at Uber, look at Airbnb. How many people and businesses have started moving to the social media world? This is a no-brainer, you guys, especially if you have a smartphone. You're on Facebook anyway. You're on Instagram anyway. Why not try to make some extra money, you guys? It just makes sense. And so that's kind of my story, you guys. And I'm still going right now. Me and Matt are eligible for our next 2 promotions. And by this time next year, you guys, I'm going to be making $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month with this business because I said yes 2 years ago. What if I could tell you that in 4 years you could be a millionaire? Why would you ever say no to that? If someone came to me, the person that came to me about the wraps, and she said, let me show you how to make money, I didn't think about it. I didn't go research it. I didn't go ask my friends and family what they thought. I was like, if you're telling me right now, the first time anyone has ever told me that I could be a millionaire, and you're telling me that you'll teach me, I'm in. I will spend my last $100 to join. If you're telling me that I could be a millionaire with this business, that I could do things like retire my boyfriend, buy a brand new car in cash, build a dream house, be able to give back to rescues, be able to sponsor a family for Christmas. If you're telling me that you can teach me how to do those things and I can turn around and teach other people to do those things, I want to be a part of a company that is literally changing people's lives. And so that is one of my favorite parts of this business, is watching people on my team be able to pay off loans, be able to put their taxes into savings because they're no longer dependent on getting their taxes every year. I have seen some crazy things happen on my team, all because I said yes and then they said yes. And I go to sleep every single night knowing that because I said yes, I was led to a chain reaction, really. Because I said yes, and then this person said yes, and then this person said yes, and now this person is able to afford to pay for diapers without their card getting declined at the grocery store. I wanted to be a part of something bigger. I just didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to do it. It Works has become a vehicle that allows me to be a voice worth hearing on social media. I get to be the person that puts up positive quotes in the morning, that gets on Facebook Lives and inspires people to live, to dream bigger. This business in the past 2 years has changed my life, and I have had people come to me, and I see it in myself. This business has changed me as a person more than I had changed in the past 10 years. And I know that there are people out there that say that money isn't everything, but I can promise you that when money and financial struggles are no longer a problem, you truly can be the best person that you can be. And you can truly give back and help other people and teach other people to be bigger and better, and for them to dream bigger, for them to be able to afford a new car that's not breaking down on their kids, for them to be able to afford to put their kids in a nicer school because they're making an extra $1,000 a month. This company is insane. And my team, me, I'm just getting started. I will be a millionaire before I'm 30. I will be a millionaire before me and Matt have children. Matt will be a stay-at-home dad before we even think of having children. I will be able to pay for my wedding in cash. I will be able to give back. I will be a triple diamond and a presidential diamond, an ambassador diamond, and a black diamond. I have a vision that is so clear between now and the next 5 years that it keeps me up at night, and I just want to bring as many people with me as possible. So if you're watching this and you think I'm crazy, if you are literally laughing at the fact that I think I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm telling you right now, you have two options. You can sit back and watch, that's fine. Or you can come with me and I will teach you step by step how I've built a business on 2 hours a day on social media that is going to allow me to be a millionaire. I will teach you. You are worth it. You are so loved and you deserve so much more than what you're settling for right now, even if you don't think you're worth it. Even if you don't believe in yourself, I'll believe in you until you learn to believe in yourself. You are so worth it. Bye, guys.